Yes, 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 I'm coming, I'm coming. Here I am. Good morning, everyone. Here we are. Can you believe this is the 10th week? I can't believe we've hung on this long, but we're almost to the 20% mark of the year of doing this challenge. Um, Part of me thinks that, wow, it's going to be a long year. Anyway, for those of you who are new, it's a 1,000 pound challenge. And the idea is that I will save all of my uh, fruits and vegetable peels, egg shells, shrimp shells. Uh, if I'm throwing away, like for instance, these are sunflower seeds that have gotten too old for the birds. We have a pesky little squirrel who keeps, and raccoons who knock our bird feeders out. So we've stopped feeding, and we have all these bird seeds left over. So I've been pulverizing them and feeding them to my worms. It's occurred to me that I probably could put it into compost and be done with it, but since I have worms, why not? Coffee grounds, tea bags. Just be careful that the tea bags are not totally biodegradable. And on that note, so what if they aren't, and you find that little cellophane, whatever it is that's left behind? Take it out of your worm bin. It's not going to hurt anything. My newest thing this week is this. Excuse me. This is a magnolia leaf. These are southern magnolias, and they grow through most states actually. They don't do real well up in the very cold, but for the most part, I think people even in Pennsylvania can get them. Beautiful bloom, and it's all biodegradable. And so when you think that, oh, I don't really have that much to compost or put away or feed my worms, you really do. My friend Sandra at Nana's Worms and Garden, she and I are going to do a little experiment where we each give our worms some magnolia leaves and see if whose worms digest them faster. My dad's tougher than your dad, you know. And so anyway, that was the one thing. One thing I did find that was new. We have in the South, we have live oak trees, and they're called live oak because they stay live all year. Well, the majority of the year long. And in the winter, in fall and winter, when most people are losing their leaves, our live oak trees are still abundant with leaves. It isn't until after the winter, when the new leaf is forming, that it literally pushes the old one off the branch and they fall, and you're already getting new leaves within days, weeks. And so we have millions and millions of pounds, so it seems, of all of these leaves laying around. I don't have any to show you, but they're usually about a couple inches long. And with that comes a little blossom head. And those little blossom heads look like a little brown fuzzy. It almost looks like a little brown fuzzy caterpillar. And they kind of just fall. And so I went through, and as I was walking, and I kind of scooped up a handful of it, and I brought it home, and it just all crumbled. And I thought, this would be great, like for your carbon, you know, if you're doing a compost. And it's everywhere. So if you're in the South and you're seeing this, and you're seeing the leaves, and you're seeing all that extra, and you think, I don't have anything to compost, yeah, you do. So the other thing that I realized this week was I was pulling up some onions. I planted some onions back in October, and I pulled them up, and these are the onion roots, and they have this wonderful aroma, but I thought my worms would eat that, because Anne over at Plant Obsessed, another great channel, she's really big on experiments and dispelling worm myths that people go, well, you're not supposed to give them onions, you're not supposed to give them oranges, you're not supposed to give them, meat or whatever, bones or whatever. And she does these little experiments where she dispels that. So a few onion roots will be wonderful for them. They'll just love it. Carrot tops, when you're growing your own, we usually eat ours, but these have kind of gone brown, so the worms will get it. So I had kind of a shy week. Rick did cut grass, so I had a little bit of grass because ours still isn't really growing and we don't have a whole big lot. But you can use your paper towel rolls, your toilet paper rolls, your dryer lint. If you have wine corks, you can use that. If you're feeding the kids popsicle sticks, throw it in. Any stale cereal, any stale crackers. I mean, you can give them fresh, but why? These are the things that you're throwing away. And that's the challenge, is that to do 1,000 pounds of something that literally would go in my trash or down the garbage disposal. And so that was that. Oh, one other little fun fact. How much toilet paper do you use? How much toilet paper do you think you use? Well, I really don't know. It seems that I'm always putting it on the list. Hey, Rick, we need toilet paper. And so I Googled this because, you can Google anything in the world you ever wanted to know, and someone will be glad to tell you what the real answer is. And the answer was very long. I'll cut it short. The first time I looked it up, it said that we use, the average American uses 100 rolls of toilet paper per year. Gee, that seemed like a lot. And then I realized that we buy those jumbo rolls so that we use less cardboard. And I thought, well, we probably do use that much if it were just the traditional little roll. And so think about 100 of these going out in the trash that could go into, one, if you don't have anything you just want to recycle. Two, they make great little, cut it, give it 4 cuts, and fold it, and it becomes a little planter, a great thing to do. If you have worms, I like to put food in there and then let the worms find it, and they just love to hide out in here. So anyway, that was all. If you're doing your cardboard, I have a shredder, but whenever I'm cutting it to go through the shredder, sometimes I'll take this and I will make that my going around my shrubs, because it acts as a great weed suppressant. If you have, if you're grinding up a lot, make sure you take off your tape and stuff, but also anything like this pretty much comes off. It'll take off a little bit of it, and if you have a spot, no problems. What gets left behind and goes through the worms, if they leave it, you'll find it. I mean, finding cellophane against worm castings, believe me, you'll find it. Excuse me, I think that was it. Oh, one more thing. We buy Barney's coffee for just, our treat. Starbucks, Barney's, any of those. And I will save these bags, and they have the nice little thing on the back. If I don't save them, I save this. It's great for tying up things. But boy, talk about a nose hit and the delight. You can still smell that. This is a creamy caramel black coffee. But if you're giving somebody worm castings, it's a great, you could put a pound of worm castings in there. I wouldn't put the worms in here because it's not going to breathe, but I would put the worm castings. My other thought is, sometimes if I'm baking cookies or something, you know, putting 2 or 3 in a bag like this and closing it up. And if you have a really nice mailman lady, the trash guys, I'm trying to, who else comes to your door? The UPS people. There was a day when courtesy was you always had a few dollar bills sitting by the front door that if somebody came and delivered something, you gave them a tip. This seems to have gone by the wayside. I don't know why. I think because they just leave it at my door. Nobody knocks anymore. Just a tip. So, all right. So this week was not my best week, but we tried, and that's the important thing. Keep trying. And I got 14 pounds, 5.4 ounces. But as you remember last week, Brian, my neighbor, brought me a big bag of grass clippings, so I got more than I needed. And last week I was up to 190 pounds, just over, for 9 weeks. So with our 14 pounds, we came up with a total of 204 pounds, 9.2 ounces for 10 weeks. So I'm still on target. And with that, I will close the book. I will wish you all well. And I will say, please come back next week and see me again. Until then, remember, garden what you've got. See you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.